Okay, just swapping around. This is game number 2 in this best of 7, guys. A fresh, well, no longer fresh, but still a sort of fresh best of 7 between 2 awesome Team Liquid players. Now, it's worth noting there's some bounties aside to get a little bit of extra cash in this. The Snute just claimed the very first one, where you get an additional $25 for building a Nidus Worm and winning a game. While the bounty system is fun and it encourages different playstyles, the key thing is you have to win the game with it. We don't want to encourage players to be stupid and just start throwing out nukes and lose the game and throw it entirely. So there's a lot of Terran and Zerg specific ones. There's some generic ones in there, like kill 100 plus workers type thing in a single game. We'll see who can claim what as the series goes on, but at the very bare minimum, there's $100 for first place and $25 for second place. So nobody walks away here empty-handed at the end of the day. And without further ado, though, I'm Rifkin, joined by Zombie Grub, and spawning in the top left corner of the map, one of the newest additions to Team Liquid, the blue Terran player, Liquid Bunny.
And in the top right, as the red Zerg player, it is Liquid Snute.
Recent Seats Story Cup champion, overall really nice guy and cool dude. And it's worth noting, too, we actually had an interview with Snute not too long ago when he won the NSL, the Norwegian Star League Finals. And one of the things we had talked about was, like, you know, who does he find good for practice partners? And he did specifically mention Bunny was someone he really enjoyed playing against, and he thought they were on a pretty similar level. So while that first game may have looked a little bit like Snute dominance, I do need to remind you guys, that early game for Snute could have gone very poorly very quickly.
Yeah. Bunny doing something interesting here by putting his barracks not at the front. Of course, the possibility of Snute going for a 10 pull is actually, I don't think I've ever seen him do it on TVZ. And he probably knows that. Player. But he also has no gas. So his plan here is that instead of going for a Reaper, he's going to get a little more economy, but also potentially get that Overlord. That Overlord's going to come in, and, you know, as it always does, because it figures either a Reaper or 14cc, and it's going to be so far deep that actually I don't think it's going to survive.
That's actually a really oddly cool point. I never would have considered that, but that is awesome. So this is it's kind of reminds me of the whole nine full sport crawler thing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I watched that.
That was cool, but yeah, that's not gonna be the case. With some good slick micro, it looks like he will get his Overlord from Snute. And this is actually a huge pick off early on in the game. Overlords are really expensive, and you can't afford to be able to spending another one this early.
First blood.
The things that he gives up for that is the Reaper. Like, that's it. But the Reaper's really important. It's really good. I mean, of course, it takes care of, you know, scouting for you. It's free scouting. It also takes care of some lings. In case you're Marine micro, you know, 2 against 8 lings, the 8 lings gonna win always. So Reaper
well, I think
would fix that.
I think a lot of this plays into Habitation Station too, where it's a really crappy map for getting.
It is
that
a
main.
crappy.
Like
Yeah,
there's literally one spot you can jump up with the Reapers. So
yeah.
this may have been combination, like, I'm Bunny, I want to do something cool, but also, like, he knows that Reapers are not going to be the most effective thing here.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So
barracks already.
right, yeah. So even the day when you went for a 17cc all the time, like no gas, back in Wings Liberty, you would still follow it up with a factory for Hellions. You still got Hellions because they were so important for map control and creep denial. But he's just going to go straight for another 2 barracks. This is more like something you can see in TVP, for instance, and it's going to be very surprising. Of course, Snutes might not have any Overlord scouting. With Marines on the map, he can't get back into that base.
Go for, like, Super Bomber Marines, just push out early, do a ton of damage, maybe?
I like it, though. It's something different. And when we were always seeing the 14cc, 2Rex, or the Reaper expand, it's nice to see something like a 4th option.
Well, and I've said it before, like, how many times do you see Hellions? Like, it's like 100% of games, like, actually, but because of maybe what Snute prepares for, Queens, well, good against Hellions, are actually not that good against a lot of Marines.
No, they're really not. This is weird. Do you remember those days back in, like, a long time ago when it really wasn't figured out, where you just, like, you'd have Marines at odd times, and that's kind of how you won the game? It's just that they didn't know it was coming, and you won because they were droning.
Well, I feel that's the thing for a lot of Terran, though. Like, whether it's Marines or something else, like, you're looking for that opening, and if you get it, great, but it's not you planned for it, right? Like, it relies on the Zerg player having things out of position, or Queens being out of place, or
no scouting.
Or no scouting,
because
too, yeah.
The thing for Zerg players is that they want to cut as many corners as possible to get to that mid-game, and pretty much what has happened in the game is that everyone allows that to happen for each other, you know, unless it's an all-in. So Snute's going to be... Oh, actually, he's going to scout it.
Yeah,
he got that
Overlord
Overlord back there. That is surprising.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
These Marines, of course, were busy patrolling, anticipating this other one to come in a little bit further, but that wasn't going to be the case. And, I don't think it's gonna be the biggest tell in the world, but this is suddenly for Snute like, oh boy, I need to get units out. I need to stop making drones right now. Even if he doesn't see that extra barracks over here, seeing the tech lab down this early and 2 barracks in a very strange spot like that, I mean, you don't go 2 barracks this early, period.
Yeah, and I do not think that Snute saw how many Marines were out, because the other option, of course, is that Bunny just went for... Well, he sees how many Hellions there are, so never mind. He knows that those barracks are down really, really fast. Because the other option would be that he went for Hellions and then put the 2 racks on, but it's actually going to be just a more sooner, and Snute has to prepare for that.
This is a super aggro push coming out of him, and I don't know,
slow lanes, no banelings.
That's the thing. If there weren't Hellions here, maybe this looks a little bit better for Snute. But if he surrounds the Marines, all the Hellions need to do is chill back. And not even chill back. Look at this. He just kite them because they're slow lanes, even on creep. Now taking a good position here at the top of this ramp. Oh god, Snute is going to get annihilated here.
It's like 2011.
This is
just catching them without the units.
Well, this was Bunny's map pick, and I don't know how much of this was intentionally planned with the map, but this really aggressive push is really scary. Banelings are trying to come in, but even 2 Banelings complete, it's not going to stop all of this.
You can literally kill the Banelings before they reach your Marines.
Yeah, and the Hellions too. Oh, well, the Hellions actually get surrounded, so Snute finally has something going right for him, but there might still just be way too many Marines. Drones have been completely evacuated. This base is looking really nasty.
Not doing a terrible job of holding, but now he's going to lose a third, so that's going to really put
the Banelings at the top of the ramp actually catch those Hellions, though.
Oh, he's going to clear up the Marines, so he's going to keep his natural, and he only killed 4 drones. That was a great defense for a very odd attack.
I'm just going to sit here and take a moment to bow to base god Snute. I mean, like, what the hell? Like, I understand, like, losing your workers, your drones. Like, I thought the hatchery for sure was going to go down, but... Man, only 4 drones. That is actually a really impressive hold. Like, as cool as a push as that was out of Bunny, that was really impressive out of Snute.
Whoops. Whoopsie. Nice. That is not enough to deal with it. So a couple of things happened there that let Snute win that game. And I think actually some of it was that Bunny decided to go for the natural. By going to the natural, he had no room to maneuver the Helen. So they got surrounded, and then they tried to go up the ramp, and they got busted by Banelings. If he goes towards that third and keeps a good eye on his Hellions, he indefinitely kites Lings. Just let the Marines kill the third and get out maybe with at least your Hellions. You know, the Marines probably going to die. Instead, everything went down because Snute still had good production and just barely enough larva, I guess. So that really helped out too. That was clutch.
It's one of the times I'm happy to be wrong too, because I said like 1 or 2 Banelings wasn't going to save that, but like that Bane connection on top of the ramp, like. If he didn't clean up those Hellions, that would not have gone so smoothly.
Yeah. It's still not over yet, though. I mean, even though Bunny's attack got cleaned up, and it's not a normal attack that we're used to seeing, he still has a third. His upgrades are still going. Snute also took a lot of damage in the same way that Bunny did.
These poor Banelings all just get fried alive.
Yeah, that was kind of sad to see.
I like this 4th base out of Snute, though. I don't think he's going to be able to comfortably mine from it, but having that extra production, like, again, whether it's about missing injects, whether it's just having that extra base or a reinforcement location, with a macro hatchery in the main 2, he's going to have a ton of larvae to work with.
There's no Medivacs out, and, you really don't see a push. I mean, at the first push you don't really see, but the second push, too, this one is also odd.
Ooh, gets a nice surround on these Hellions. Now the Marines aren't really protected.
Oh, Medivacs!
Oh, boost to pick up! Bunny! Okay, he saves his units. That could have been much worse.
So close. If there were any more Banelings, he actually loses that. That's why you don't do it. But luckily, those Medivacs came just in the nick of time. He has that third. What Snute's probably going to try and do, or would have liked to do, was get a Ling counterattack, force it to lift. It's not going to happen now, though.
By the way, did you watch the like Reddit wars of like the gold base stuff?
No.
It was like Fenner and someone else were like having like how to counter each other for going through these like weird strategies of lifting first. Yeah. So even though it's like a late game thing, the reality is like, where do you put your wall off, and do you even bother putting one down here? Because all jokes aside, like 2 racks this year in a Spidey was funny. A couple bunkers used to be very common in Habitation Station, but I think it was like not until like around a month ago players started realizing like they don't need to actually defend it if they just got a ton of units from the economy that it produces.
We did see Snute try and do that counterattack that I was talking about, but there was enough Marines to stop that from happening.
Oh, geez,
still, the overload's creeping up. Yeah, the first attack, it's just cleaning up Lings right now, which is still worthwhile. He's keeping all the Marines alive.
If he gets these in the mineral line, it's going to be really hard for Bunny to connect to this. He's got to be careful with his Banelings, though, and look at that spread.
Yeah, splitting. He uses all the Banelings rather than just 2, so that's good. Still cannot drop into the main though. Snute doing a good job defending on both sides. Problem right now is that Snute still is not at the drone count he wants to be, even though he's at a good base count. And also, he has the upgrade issue going on.
This is bad in the middle. This was so bad in the middle.
Oh, pick up! I
Okay.
pick up for a second there.
The Banelings are what really makes this choke so scary, but at the top of the ramp, combined with these couple of depots, we'll give him a
He's
nice
going for a
position.
Ling all in. Alright, yeah,
God,
so
that's
this
so
is actually
many
really...
Banelings.
This is a super good decision by Snute. The attack in the main of Snute still going on, though.
Oh god!
Third does not die,
All
but
the
that
SCVs.
SCV line, Jesus.
Yeah, drop of the main of Snoot's actually gutted him raw here. He's not killed the most workers in the world, but he'll be able to get these hatcheries, which is going to be huge. Focusing the spawning pool now to cut out reinforcements, but back at home, can he even hold against this many Baneling Zombie Grub?
Oh, the Widow Mines are so important. Oh, and they die. But, you know, slowly the Baneling count is dwindling. How many more SCVs can they kill? Just Lings is not scary for Bunny.
Yeah, Marines are picking off the Lings as they try and run in. The Lings are just the most useless things in the world right now. Picks
Yeah.
off the spawning pool, didn't get the Baneling nest, but drops to the natural instead. Bunnies it drops.
Oh, he did it? He did get the spawning pool, but it's being remade by Snute automatically.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to get the Baneling nest next.
I wish
did
you,
not.
I wish you could automate, like, you know, you'll like the right click to make it auto build. Like, if a spawning pool ever dies, just the drone randomly builds a spawning pool somewhere else.
Yeah, that would be funny. Well, Snute tries to go in
fresh
here and get the
mules.
mules and gets one. That was nice. But,
don't-
you know, that attack wasn't enough. I thought it was a good idea because going into a regular
It was
game
scary.
with like
It was
mutas and
so
stuff,
scary.
it was scary. I think it was a better decision than trying to go into a regular game. I do, but I don't think it was enough. Especially with the drops going on in the background. Maybe the drops that can go on in the background is actually okay.
Fourth base under a lot of trouble right now. This is where the new spawning pool is remade too, so this is gonna be double nasty to lose. The thing too, like beyond this, like dropping those mules in the gold, I don't even know if diving for those Lings were worth it, because mules don't get any extra benefit from mining from the gold. It's not like you drop them on normal mineral patches, but big drop in the main. But more importantly than that, a ton of medevacs to escort this drop in the main.
And the would-be other fourth is also going to die. Just drops everywhere, actually. And Snute does no longer has that big army count that can cover 3 bases at a time.
And this is so impressive too, because this is like Bunny, who gets absolutely screwed with this attack. Snute with like the most perfect hold of a lifetime. But still, Bunny keeps the aggression up, and he's still picking off bases. The lair's been taken off at this point. There's a spawning pool coming down, but it's not going to get to be remade. Like, this is so critical that he keeps picking the spawning pool off.
You know, you put a spawning pool at your fourth because you're like, they're never going to catch it here. And then it just automatically goes down. GG.
All right, Bunny ties it up now 1-1, folks.